Weed retention, semen retention starts now. Let's go. I can't take it anymore, man. I can't take it anymore. I'm basically addicted to weed and addicted to, releasing your seed. So let's just talk a little bit background about both of those. So with the weed, I've basically been smoking weed for the last 6 years every single day, except three week breaks where I was on probation for weed. So we'll get into that though. But I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's like I can't keep doing this, yo. Like, it's way too, like, and people say, oh, weed addiction isn't real. Of course it is. I got withdrawals right now. So but let's just brief history. 6 years ago, I was an athlete, so I had never smoked, never did drugs. I told my sister, I said, oh, I will never do drugs, like I'm going to the NBA, whatever. But college came around and I stopped playing basketball, and then that's when it started. But it wasn't some recreational thing. It was actually like medicinal, because I would get migraines, and these migraines would hurt so bad. Like, I'm telling you, these migraines would make you suicidal. That's how much they hurt. And there was no escape. The only escape from a migraine is going to sleep, until I discovered weed. So I did a little research or something, I don't remember, but I was like, wait, it says weed helps with headaches or migraines? Interesting. So in Hawaii, that's where I went after I played basketball. I started smoking a little bit, just recreationally, for fun, like just every now and then. But it was just like whenever I was offered, like they say, hey, you want to smoke? I'd be like, sure, I'll take a hit. So it started off like that. It just started off as like, we're at the party, he's got the thing, like, I'll hit it, whatever. But then one day I got this really, really bad migraine, and literally it was so terrible. I can't even describe the pain. Like, I was literally thinking like I'm not suicidal at all, but at the time I was like, suicide's the only way out. You know what I mean? So I was willing to do anything to get the pain out of me. And so I hit my boy up. I was like, hey, that weed stuff? Could I get some of that, like, to use? Like, maybe this will help my headache. So he gave me some. I smoked it, and I'm not joking with you. It cured the migraine. Now, to me, this is like mind-boggling. This is like discovering Mars or something. This is because I had been getting migraines since childhood. I used to get them like twice a month in high school. But so I get this migraine, I take the weed, and boom, gone. Migraine gone. So I'm just like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. This is it. So that's how the journey began. That was my first time getting my own personal weed. And it started off, I got a migraine, let me do it. And then it was like, well, let me not do this in the weekday. I have to go to class, I got to study, where let's just save this for the weekend. But then I was like, dude, why not just do it in the weekday? And then I did it in a weekday, and then I left Hawaii after a semester, came back home, South Carolina, and then basically that's when it started. I was just basically smoking weed every single day. And it wasn't like crazy at first. It was like just a couple little hits. And then it became a blunt a day. And then it became just like, I smoked different variations, like cards, blunts, the bowl, whatever. But the point is, for the last 6 years, I've been smoking weed. And it was all good at first. At first, weed was literally like the most fun. Like, for me, it basically just elevates whatever you are. So if you're a funny person, If you like laughing, if you love laughing, like you smoke, it's gonna elevate that. So it's gonna make you laugh even more. And that was the case with me. I'm a super goofy guy. I smoke, I just got more goofy, and I just laughed at everything. Every food I tasted was amazing. Every song I listened to was like amazing. And I was just like, dude, this is honestly like, this is the best thing ever in the world. Weed is the miracle drug, dude. It cures my migraines. And so it was all positive at first. It was all good. And then, basically what happened was a scenario that basically made me, it changed my mind. And here's what happened. So this girl set me up, right? Because I used to, eventually it got into selling. So I was just smoking at first, but then I was like, oh, I need to make money. Like, I gotta invest in crypto. I need more money. How do I get it? Oh, I could sell this. So it started selling. You know what I'm saying? So you can see the transition. At first, it started off like this. Oh, I just whatever. And then next thing you know, I'm selling weed. I'm trapping. You know what I mean? I'm a trapper. So this girl, though, she sets me up to get robbed by this guy, right? Comes out with a bat, trying to steal a little tiny amount. I'm like, you pathetic broke people are pathetic. But so he tries to rob me. He didn't. Unsuccessful. Sorry. So I get out of there, but then I think that was a wake-up call. And I think God tests us to sort of wake us up, or he allows certain things to happen that we don't want to happen, but they're actually beneficial for us. Because that alone, that instance, retired me from trapping. I was done. After that, I was like, I'm done with this. Ain't no way I'm gonna continue this. No way. So then, this was like the worst, like, 10-day period or week-long period in my life. The very next week, it was like 10 days later, something like that, I get charged with weed and almost taken to jail. So here's the story to that. Me and this girl, this stupid song comes on, and we're just going out to the car to smoke, and this song comes on, Smoke and Drive. I absolutely hate this stupid song, but actually, you know, in hindsight, I actually like this song, because maybe this was the wake-up call. So I'm like, oh, let's smoke and drive while we listen to it. So we go for a drive, and out of my neighborhood, if you take a left, there's like a dead end all the way down. So we go out to go to the dead end, and on the way down to the dead end, like, we see a car parked on the side, a cop car, and we drive past it, and we're just like, oh shoot, that was feds right there. And so we drive down to the end of the dead end, and then it's just like, okay, let's not stay down here, because they might wonder like what we're doing down here. Let's just turn around and let's just head back home. Like, screw that. I'm not trying to deal with that. Like, let's just head back home. All good. We're not gonna speed. We're not gonna. It's a nice little straight ride. Just drive straight, go in your neighborhood, boom, done. So we go back, and we see this. As we pass the cop car, we see this, and we're just like, oh, why is he doing that? You know. And so I turn right into my neighborhood, and then the cop turns right, and I'm just like, dude, I know this man is not following her. And then I turn left, the cop turns left, and we're both like, oh shoot, dude, he's really like following us. And I was like, let's just park and go inside. They can't do anything inside. They don't have any consent to come into my house, whatever. Let's just park, go inside. Like, I think he's just like wondering what we're doing driving around here. I think once he figures out that we live here, like, he'll just be like, oh, they are residents here. Let's just leave them alone, whatever. It's a nice neighborhood. So I'm thinking nothing of it. I'm just thinking, you know, I'm like, oh, it's all good, man. I like. So then I pull into my driveway, and this man's already walking up. I'm like, dude, I'm like, how did he even get out of the car? I'm getting out of the car, walking. I'm like, I park, and I'm like, all right, let's go in. And this man's already walking up. He said, where we headed tonight? I'm like, what the I'm going to my house. Where are you headed? I didn't say that, but I'm just like, I'm going to my house. So long story short, he basically said, what are you doing driving down there? And I was like, oh, we're just listening to music. I didn't want to have my neighbors make any noise complaints. So, and then he said these exact words. He said, oh, because the only people that drive down there are people that live down there or people that are going to smoke marijuana. Do you have any on you? And bro, at that point, I was just like, that's it. Like, that's it. This is it. Like, this is it. This is real life. I can't wake up from this. Like, this man is really, like, about to make this situation happen because of this little green plant. And you got to be kidding me. And so, long story short, they didn't arrest us, luckily. He said, because your car was parked in your house, we don't have to tow it. Otherwise, we would tow it and we would arrest you, take you to jail. But we're just going to cite you with the possession charge. And yeah, so we got charged with possession. So then, that's what really just made me like, all right, like, I can't keep doing this. So I completely stopped trapping after almost dying, getting robbed, and then the very next week, almost going to prison. It's just like, okay, God's trying to show me something. This isn't the way. So that's the story with weed. And then, but what happened after that following, I didn't stop at all. I stopped trapping, but I didn't stop smoking. I was just like it was so bad. And this is how you know it's addiction. They said, all you have to do is pass 3 drug tests and you can get this charge dismissed. I said, okay, deal. And my stupid self was still smoking. And it's like, oh, I'll be good. But somehow, God willing, thank God, I passed all 3 drug tests. But I was cutting it close. I was like, I need a month to like let this go out of my system. But I was doing it like 3 weeks up until the test. And I was like, all right, I guess now I'll stop. It's like, dude, I was cutting it close. But it's all cleared. I'm 100% innocent record, like clean record. It's dismissed off my record. But I did get a weed possession charge. So that's that. So I've been smoking this whole time. I'm just like, those are the 2 instances that really made me like, all right, I gotta stop. And then I continued doing it for like 3 years. But then it got to the point where it was like the whole reason I liked weed, the happiness, like the euphoria. Like, I would call it literally euphoria when I first started smoking. But then it's like as your tolerance builds up, it's like that feeling goes away. Like the high is not even the same, and you have to smoke more to get the same high. So then that makes your tolerance even worse. And then it's just like, dude, it got to the point where it's like, why am I even doing this? And it's like, I'm not even getting the same effects, and I'm doing it more frequently, and it's like causing me to be like lazy. It's causing me to like not make eye contact. Like, I didn't make eye contact with people for the longest time because I'd always be high, and I'd be like, I didn't want people to like know. Like, and then some other bad scenarios happened to the point where I got paranoid, and then I would just start getting really anxious, and then basically I would smoke and I would just get like paranoid and anxious. It's like, I don't want to be around other people. There was some other factors that went into it, but basically that's the story, my story of weed and how it's been in my life the last 6 years. Definitely had negative effects from those certain experiences. So that's where I'm stopping weed. So now let's switch over to semen retention, because they're correlated. So like I said, weed elevates everything you are. If you're a goofy person, you smoke, you're gonna be more goofy. You know, so if you're chill, you're gonna be more chill. But if you're horny, you're gonna be more horny. So that's why it's correlated. So then it got to the point where I was just, I met this girl, we don't need to go into that. But all we would do is smoke and, you know, hook up. So then I almost got like addicted to being high and releasing, because it was like you had an orgasm before and it felt amazing, but then you do it while high and it's like, whoa, it's even more amazing. So I got addicted to getting high and orgasming. And what I noticed, and anybody who has masturbated knows this, after you release, you get this weak feeling, this weak, pathetic, guilty, shameful feeling. So that should tell you right there, that's not good. But that's what I was doing. I was like, oh, it feels good. It's the best feeling in the world. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong. Like, it feels great. So fast forward to like a year ago, I moved back to Hawaii. Crypto's doing really well. And I'm still a pothead at this time. But here's the crazy part. My portfolio with crypto started doing so well that I had so much money that I didn't have to work anymore. Because I was making way more in crypto than I would at work. So my mentality was like, let me just focus on crypto and just get high all day. I could get high while I work. So then what did that do? That caused me to get high even more often. So I'm just like sitting here, I'm like, I wake up, I don't have to go to work. I still do work, but it's like on the phone, and it's not that many hours. Very like passive, but I'm making a lot. So I'm just like, let's celebrate. I made 10 bands today. Let's celebrate. And I would just smoke all day. It started becoming like, because when the pens, they don't smell. You don't have to like roll it up. You just click a button, hit it, boom, done. And they're much more like strong. So that made it even worse. And that's when the withdrawals, I really noticed the withdrawals whenever I would stop, because I literally couldn't eat without smoking. Like I would smoke it so often, I'd get withdrawals after like 6 hours. And then you got these ignorant people on some forums saying weed withdrawals aren't real. Of course they're real. Anything that you consistently do and then you stop doing, you're gonna have withdrawals. Of course you're gonna have withdrawals from weed. But I had like major withdrawals because I had major usage. So I'm smoking every day. I'm just like, and it was relaxed. I'm sitting there masturbating all day, smoking all day. There'd be some days where I'd knock out 6 sessions. I'd smoke and then I'd be like, let me get that orgasm. So then I started learning about semen retention. I started, I had a consistent desire to stop smoking weed, but I had like no desire to stop masturbating. So then basically what happens next, I was doing that in Hawaii. I'm still in Hawaii, but I was doing that for about 6 months, a year. And then it got to the point where I was just like, I started having like a spiritual transformation. That happened about 8 months ago. Because I'm just sitting here like, I'm not fulfilled. I have all this money. And then I have weed, which is supposed to make me like euphoric. And then I have the freedom to orgasm whenever I want. Like, this is what society preaches. They preach you money, drugs, sex. Like, that's literally what society preaches, is fulfillment. And I'm not fulfilled at all. I'm depressed, in fact. So I'm sitting there, and then it clicks. I'm just like, this isn't the way. Like, this is not the way. I can't be wasting my seed. And then I found out it really clicked, because every time I spill my seed, I'm weaker. I'm super less social. I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to go outside. I don't want to talk to people. I just want to get high and masturbate to this fetish that I have, and that's it. Anything else, it's like, you're not getting me high. You're not fulfilling that fetish. Get out of my face. That was my mentality. It was like I was in the addiction. So then it was like literally, and I remember telling my brother, I was like, dude, I gotta stop smoking weed. I'm trying to stop. I've been trying to stop for months now. I just can't do it. And then eventually I was like, I gotta stop masturbating too. Because I learned that semen is the most valuable substance in the universe. Semen creates life. It is the foundational material of life. All human life comes, comes, first. So once I found that out, I was like, all right, if semen creates life, the most advanced species in existence, that creates civilization, everything in civilization is a direct result from semen. Everything comes from semen as far as human life. So then it's like, all right, that is true. Like, semen is if we're basing everything off civilization and human flourishment and like literally like human existence, the most advanced species in existence, it all comes from semen. So is it a good idea to be wasting my semen every day? Especially considering the fact it makes me depressed, it makes me antisocial, it makes me guilty, and this weird shameful feeling afterwards, almost gross, especially if you do it multiple times. It's like, ugh, you just feel gross. And it's like, that obviously can't be the way. And that can't be good for you. How could something that makes you feel depressed, guilty, shameful, and gross be good for you? The question is, it doesn't, because it's not good for you. So then I really started digging deeper. I'm like, semen retention, like, I started seeing the benefits, or researching the benefits. And then semen retention was already proven true just by the fact of doing the opposite. So if semen retention means retaining, and it supposedly has good benefits, I don't even need to have gone through 30 days of semen retention to know that's true, because I know the opposite is true, which means it's detrimental to your health, and you feel gross and you feel all, bad. You feel like you're not doing the right thing. So if you already feel that way by releasing, then obviously that means the opposite direction. By not releasing, there's got to be good benefits. So that's what we're testing out. This is my testimony. It's a little longer video, but it's just my story. I have not shared like my addictions with anyone, certainly not the internet, but that's exactly why I'm posting it to the internet, because I've tried multiple times. I told myself, like, I'm gonna stop smoking now, and I'm gonna stop, wasting my semen now. And then a couple days later, I just do it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, there's no accountability. By putting this on the internet, I have absolutely no excuse. I cannot be fraudulent. It forces me to go through with the plan. It forces me to kick these addictions to the side. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yesterday, I felt I was rock bottom. I felt awful. And semen retention is said to cure diseases, cure illnesses, like cure injury. Like, I'm of the firm belief, and I've tried it out a couple times, but I'm going like all in this time. if you're getting injured, is maybe because you're releasing your semen. If you're having, feeling weak in the gym, it's probably because you're wasting your semen. The power, think about what I just said earlier. The power of life itself, the life energy, the energy and the substance that creates the most advanced species in existence. You think that doesn't have power to store it up within you, to retain? And not only that, this goes into the spiritual journey that I've been on. I grew up in the church. I've always called myself a Christian, but I never opened the book. I prayed to God, I went to church, but I never actually read the Bible and read the Word of God and really strive to obey Him. And that's what ties into this all. I said, if God can't save me, I'm doomed. And that's exactly what God has done. He has transformed me into seeking Him more, and that's what this is all about. Oh, the low battery came up, but that's what this is all about. This is about righteousness, and I'll touch on that. This video is mainly focused on just my testimony and my story of my weed addiction, my semen releasing addiction. But I'll touch on a little bit more of the spiritual side. I have a lot of videos coming up. But yeah, this is the foundational. I just wanted to get the day one. This is day one. I smoked yesterday. I released my semen yesterday. It's not happening anymore. And this is day one. It starts now. You're maybe going to notice improvement in my life. I'm certainly going to notice an improvement. But I'm just documenting this so people can see the true power in life. The true fulfillment is obeying God and living righteous. See, I'm sitting here oh, I want a wife. I want these things, yada yada, and I'm wondering why I haven't received them. Well, think about it. If God wants you to obey Him and you don't obey Him, how are you going to get the results that you desire? You have to live righteous. Live righteous means not wasting your semen. So even God Himself was the first one that said, do semen retention. I'm trying to make you powerful. I'm trying to make you righteous. And I'm trying to give you the life that is amazing. But if you're out smoking weed every day and wasting your seed every day, it's dude, God's not going to bless you. He's why? Why would He? You're disobeying Him. So this is about righteousness, and that's honestly the main motivating factor behind me actually successfully doing this. Because I'm telling you, I told myself 1,000 times, all right, I'm done with weed. And then a day later, I couldn't stop it no matter what. God is the only reason that has motivated me to actually stop. And not only that, it's when you look at the righteousness as a whole that God wants us to live it is beneficial for your life. But we'll get into that in other videos. This video is just the start, the introduction. My other videos aren't going to be this long. But this is just the story. I have been addicted to weed. Weed addiction is real. Obviously, masturbation addiction is real. But the truth is, neither one are good for you. We are meant to be sober-minded, and we are meant to be smart and righteous. If I'm smoking all the time, and I notice also, I would smoke, I'm not as a smooth talker as I used to be. I used to be witty. I used to be super smart, articulate. Ever since I started smoking, I'm just sort of it's I've become stupid. So it ends now. I'm not smoking anymore. I'm gonna do a update with the weed update. I'm starting it the same day, so it's the same update. But I genuinely believe my personality, these are my predictions for this upcoming test that we're gonna do. And it's not just a short-term test, it's a lifestyle change. Permanent. That's the goal. I believe my personality is gonna improve, my eye contact, my confidence is gonna improve. Because even when I did it for like a couple weeks. I did it for like 2 weeks, and then I think I did it again for 2 weeks, like semen retention. And I could notice girls were like magnetic towards you. Just off 2 weeks. But your confidence goes up. Like your talk. Like I used to be so like just not in the mood to like talk at all. And I genuinely think it was because I wasted all my sexual energy, life energy, and I was high all the time. And then I'm sitting there wondering, why am I just not in the mood to talk to anybody and just like whatever? Because you're doing that. So yeah, so that's what this video is about. I'm back on YouTube. I'm making this video. I'm doing this challenge. We're gonna do more videos touching. This is just off the top of my head. I highly doubt anybody's gonna actually watch this whole video, but I'm just starting this off with this video, just getting it off my chest. I was addicted to weed. Basically, I'm still currently in the addiction because I got withdrawals today. So the withdrawals might last. That's honestly the main factor that made me keep going back. I would get off of withdrawals and I'd be like, I can't take this anymore. Let me just light it up again just to stop these withdrawals. And then that would just continue the habit. But I cannot keep doing it. I can't. If I want a wife, if I want a righteous woman, you have to be a righteous man. You cannot attract a righteous woman in your life if you're not a righteous man. So that is what I must be. It says that a precious woman is a gift from God. So if you have a righteous woman, you think God's gonna bless you with her if you're not a righteous man? No. You have to both be righteous, and then God will bring you together. That's my whole desire. My main desire is to fall in love with a beautiful, righteous woman. But I can't be a hypocrite and be like, oh yeah, I'm smoking weed and I'm like fornicating and masturbating all the time. But where's the wifey's at? It's like, it doesn't work that way. So this is day one. I don't know if I addressed everything in this video. I definitely addressed a lot because it says 33 minutes. If you watch till the end, if you watch this whole, you heard my story. I'm going to be doing updates. I'm going to be doing more in detail videos. But yeah, I have to get back in the YouTube game, especially if I'm not going to be smoking and masturbating, whatever. A lot of the reason I did that is because it would fill a void. An idle mind is the devil's playground. So if you're just sitting around, laying around, not doing anything, and you're just like, ooh, weed, ooh, porn, ooh, whatever, that's where you're going to dive into. But if I dedicate my time towards work, towards knowing God better, becoming a more righteous believer, and making YouTube, I think that is a better way to fill that void. Because this whole weed and wasting your semen, the most valuable substance in existence, that's not the way, bro. And I'm just simply not going to be doing it anymore. So we'll see if I improve. We'll see if my skin, like people, there's a multitude of positive effects just from what I've noticed after the couple days, 2 weeks or so that I've done it, that I've tried so far. But this is like, it's got to be a permanent, like I'm going 30 days and then I'm going like 60 and then I'm just keep it going. But I'm going to be updating it on YouTube to hold myself accountable. I'm going to be, learning along the way. It's a process. I'm still, like, this is my first, I'm about to be sober minded for the first time in my 20s. Like, sober mind, I'm about to be living righteous according to God for the first time in my 20s. So I wouldn't be surprised if I meet my wife this year. Because maybe this whole time God was just waiting for me to fix myself and my addictions before sending me my beautiful wife who we're going to live together forever. But right now is day one. We'll see if I get stronger. We'll see if the workouts are better. We'll see if the social life is better. All that. I'm going to update you on all that. This was just the initial story. Thanks for watching. More to come.